Hey everybody, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be pulling a stump. Kind of. We got a little bit of carpentry work, a little bit of dirt work, a little bit of chert work, a little bit more dirt work with a different tractor. Go get some loads of mulch loaded up by a Chip Gaines lookalike. A new tool I'm using in videos, trying to kind of show a new angle, and then of course some family time to tie it all together at the end. But first, we've got to go out and get the chain. I sped this part of the video up. I have Cora on my lap with me. You can't really see her because of the way the camera is angled. But here's a little bit of a shot of how the YouTube Yacht Road project is looking. We haven't really done a lot aside from we hauled chert the other day. I just thought you guys might like to see it with everything all greened up. We're getting ready to come around and pass over. This is culvert number 2, and then you'll see the new section of chert, and then we'll get right to pulling that stump. The chain, we're going to pull out this stump. We're going to clean this area up a little bit. What'd you say? Nobody wants to do that? No. That's a bummer. Go for it by the swing so you're far away. So what we're doing is we're retrofitting an area where we used to have a cheap above ground pool. The pool started becoming more patches than it was liner, so we ended up getting rid of it last year. This is just a dogwood stump, probably died from the chlorine from the pool. We're going to pull this out and we're just going to rework this area and try to make a little bit better play area for the kiddos. So just in case you're new to the channel, or even if you're not new to the channel, this is not my tractor. It's a tractor that Dirt Perfect's let me borrow. I used it to push off the chert when we hauled chert for the YouTube Yacht Road a couple projects ago. And while I have it out here, I figured I'd use it for a couple more things. Pulling this stump, one of them, and then Sunday's video, which will be pulling a big red oak log up out of the woods, or trying to pull a big red oak log out of the woods. Anyway, that's Sunday's video. I'm getting distracted. Here's the old liner. We ended up hosing those off, folding them up, throwing them in the barn. Never know when you use a good old cheap tarp to use. So these rocks right here, this is where the drain came out from the pool. It's where if you backwash the pump, it came out of a pipe and kind of ran down this to keep the hill from washing out. But we're going to try to blend this whole section in to make mowing a little bit easier. So we're going to take these back around to the garden around the back side of the house, and yep, it is super redneck and super cheap, but that is definitely the old pool liner we were using for a weed barrier underneath those rocks. So this here, and I'm using air quotes, so just imagine me using air quotes when I say this, and I'm doing that purely based on the size of it, but this is the old pool deck. Imagine the air quotes, see, they're right there. We are taking the old deck and we're going to convert it into a clubhouse for the kiddos. We're going to zip through this pretty quick, but we just kind of throw up a handrail on the side that was open towards the pool. That blade is shot, but whenever I'm working on older stuff, I typically use an older blade. That way if I hit any screws or nails, I'm not too upset about trashing a new one. And when it comes to these corners like this, I always just throw a little 45 block in. It kind of helps tighten things up a little bit. That may not be Essential Craftsman perfect, but it's definitely Captain Kleeman Playhouse perfect. Then we're going to cut this little hole out I'm going to slide some 4x4 posts in here so we can do a canopy over the top. Now, I'll let you know in this video we don't have the canopy. It's still in the mail. It's coming in later this week, so you don't get to see it with the finished canopy project, but you can kind of imagine that in your head. So one thing I do whenever I set posts, wherever the elevation of the post needs to be, I just drive a screw in so it can rest on the railing. It kind of supports itself, although not really something necessary, and you'll see why. Got a pretty snug fit on this. Took a few tries to get it trimmed out to slide down in there, but eventually we got her tapped in. So the next little step in this process, we'll use the John Deere 755. Love this little tractor. If you guys have been with the channel, you know that. We're just going to kind of try to blend this in, clip a few corners, make this blend in a little bit more. It's still obviously going to look like a pool used to be there, but if we can make it kind of maybe a little bit more natural, plus a little bit easier to mow, that's the overall goal of this little section. So there was leveling sand where the pool is at, and it's kind of building up, filling up the turf tires there. They're kind of getting tired of hanging on, as you can see. And you'll notice the drone is kind of getting tired of flying. You guys always ask what happens when the drone runs out of battery. This is what it does. It lands itself wherever the home point is set, and luckily this time the home points didn't have any trees in the way because I wasn't really paying attention to it. Pick the drone up, slap the GoPro on the tripod. We're just about finished up with this section, and we'll be moving on to the next one.
This is just one of the piles of chert we dumped. That's that area over there we're working on. This is a pile of chert, and this is just a little path I used to get from the parking area up here down to through there. That's where the herb garden's at, down to the field.
So I was hoping for this little ramp bypass around the retaining wall to be big enough for the tractor to get down. Ended up being big enough I could actually squeeze the truck down, so pretty happy with how that little section turned out. There's the doggo making sure I don't do anything crazy. She knows me pretty well. Next, we're going to spread a little bit of topsoil on the other side of the driveway. So I'll take down a quick hot lap with the Case International tractor, bringing some of that topsoil over, and then we'll get to getting it spread out. So as you saw earlier, I used the International to bring that topsoil over just because it has a bigger bucket capacity. But I'm back to the John Deere 755, getting this thing busted out with the pulverizer. Real life Mike will give you a little bit of a summary of what we're doing here in just a second.
So this is coming along really nice. That ramp's done. I was hoping for enough for the tractor, and you guys saw it, drove the truck right down the daggone thing. So that's perfect. And that all just kind of ties in right here. We did this thing. We hauled all this topsoil over here. This is all woods, and that's what it will be. By the way, look at all those little, that's a black locust, but look at all the little poplar trees popping up along the edge there. Absolutely love that. Excited about that. But anywho, we just wanted enough, about 10 feet off the side of the driveway, that we could kind of mow alongside the driveway, keep it looking nice. Mama's over there staining the heck out of that deck, looking real good. And then I think girls are over there playing in the sand, having a blast. I think we're going to try to get out to Bear Hollow and get a pickup truck load of mulch yet, and kind of freshen all this up, and then we'll get you a good after shot with the drone.
So we got the stump pulled, we got the dirt work around where the pool used to be done, the liner is out of the way, the chert ramp is done, the dirt work on the other side of the driveway is done, some of the staining is done. We are off to Bear Hollow now to go get some mulch. I'm a little embarrassed to say this is the first time we've been to Bear Hollow, which if you don't know, that's where Logger Wade's mill is, Logger Wade's family mill is. It's the first time we've got mulch there in bulk, but this is the first year I've had a truck with a full-size bed on it. The truck I used to have was a Chevy Colorado. It had like a 4-foot bed. You could barely haul anything. Pretty excited to be able to get out there and get this done. We put 2 scoops in the first time. We weren't sure how many it would hold. 2 scoops was not the answer, but we do find the answer later in the video. So this is actually the next day, and we're going to find the answer to how many scoops we can fit in the truck this time. And I have to say, we did not make it easy on them. You guys see the ladder rack? The skid steer bucket barely fits between the ladder rack, but they did awesome getting me loaded up. It was an awesome experience. We'll definitely be going back there for more mulch. And there you go. There's your answer. 4 scoops is the max we could get in the truck, but that's fine. It fit pretty well. We raked it off the side beds or side boxes and got it back to the house. Got it spread out. We're going to get this one spread out. I actually ended up going in the woods and doing a little bit of work in the woods. Chelsea went and got a 3rd load, and this is her getting back from that 3rd load.
It's close. It's like 100 feet within the barn, but about got the tractor stuck in the last mud hole, so. You guys are going to really enjoy that on Sunday, I promise you. But tractor's out, but log's still stuck there. So, whatever. I'm done with that for today.
Well, look, I got something new for you to do.
That's exciting. I'm excited. I'm ready. Let's do it. You guys are going to time lapse. Yes, very nice. Very nice. Keep going. See, there you go. Keep going a little more. Yeah. Pointer that way. There you go. Keep on coming. Yep, yep. Keep on coming. Keep on coming. Right there. Hold up there. We'll push a little out. You just stay put. I'll tell you when to pull up, okay? You just hang on there. Alright, pull up just a little bit. I'm holding on, that's a good idea. Whoa! We're right there. Yeah. Oh man. We should have been doing this the whole time.
So here's something super random because we're kind of getting close to the end of the video. This is something I always have a hard time showing how steep things are in the video. So this is a new tool I got. It's a magnetic. You can see what it does there. A little angle finder, angle locator. I'm trying to find ways that I can show how steep things are. This is something I'm thinking about incorporating in future videos. You can kind of see one problem with it though. It's incredibly jumpy if I'm on the move. But what I was doing was going down that chert ramp we made earlier in the video, taking a little bit of dirt down to the herb garden, and I'm going to give you an update on that herb garden project here in just a few minutes. But this is kind of how I'm envisioning this whole thing working. You see how I kind of just have the camera off to the side, and then the angle locator is kind of in your peripherals. And if I go slow and stop, it kind of gives it time to settle, and you can kind of see how steep things are. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this, if you think it'll be useful to kind of show how steep things are in this area. Anywho, just something I'm trying.
You guys just came down that ramp we did earlier in the video with the angle finder thing. Voiceover Mike probably told you something about it. We had some leftover mulch, so we put it around the herb garden. If you haven't seen that, check out this video where we built the herb garden. But here's a little update on it. We got some other things down here. Chelsea's got some tomato plants. We got a worm hunter. She's feeding chickens, the worms to the chickens, and the little chicken whisperer up here. And then we got some peppers, parsley, wild garlic, random little potatoes. Fairy garden, the kids playing. A lot of work to do over there, but what, sweet pea?
That one.
Which one?
That one.
This one here? You get some worms under it? Hold this. Point it. Good job. Is there any worms under there? We're looking for worms under the bucket. There's one right there, you see it?
You can't see it.
Right there. Oh, it's a good one. Anywho, we're gonna hang out down here and enjoy the river, enjoy the chickens, enjoy the company, and you guys are gonna cut to a drone shot of the finished product up there.
All right, so here is before the project, before we started. The only thing we had done up to this point was the stump was pulled out. You can see there's Mango, our rooster there named Mango, and then there's one of the hens kind of hiding in the shadows on the liner as well, probably picking some worms off of there. But that's what the deck looked like before from above, so you can kind of get a better image of that. And then as we go down, you'll see the lower right-hand corner of your screen. That's where the stump was at. And then there's the line of rocks right there for what was our little washout protection for the drain for the pool, for the backwash off the pump. But all that stuff's gone now. We're getting ready to transition over to the finished shot. There we go. So it turned out pretty good. You can see the rock wall we did, I don't know, a month ago maybe. We did put a little post and beam on that older tree house as well. We're gonna put a canopy on that. And on the clubhouse conversion, the deck to the clubhouse, you can see we have that post and beam we put on there. And we have a canopy in the mail actually. Should be here later this week to put on that. So that'll turn out really nice. We're not 100% sure what we're gonna do in the center where the pool was. That's just leveling sand now, but they were having a blast playing in that. So we might just get a truckload of sand to dump in there and have that be the filler for now. There is one thing we have to finish up still. I'll zoom in on here at the drone. You can kind of see that border on the edge. Those two 4x4s there, a little unlevel. We gotta get that tweaked a little bit. But overall, pretty happy the way it's turned out. We got that bank seeded in straw. You'll see some leaves fly here. Definitely smack that limb with the drone. That Mavic Mini, I'm telling you what, when it hits a limb, it does a pretty good job of correcting itself. Anywho, pretty happy with the way it all turned out. We'll definitely keep you updated on how the grass comes in, how everything turns out in the long run. Maybe give you some shots whenever we get the canopies on and some future videos. We're going to come down just a little bit. You can hear my 3-year-old yelling for me in the background, so we're going to wrap this voiceover up. We're going to pan to the right. We're going to shoot up through the canopy, give you a little bit of a quick scenic fly around with all the greenery. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.